This is the weather forecast video for Thursday, March 29th, 2012. Taking a look at the satellite image from last evening. Some thunderstorms over Missouri into southwestern Iowa and southeastern Nebraska, and a storm system off to our west that'll be moving through later today with some more chances of some stormy weather. Watch morning map from around midnight. Some frost and freeze advisories over Wisconsin, lower Michigan, some winter weather issues over Maine and in the Pacific Northwest, and some fog advisories across Kansas and down in Alabama and Florida. The QPF chart precipitation through Monday evening at 7 o'clock shows some decent amounts of rain across the eastern counties of the state, upwards of 1 inch, with lighter amounts down to 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch over the western counties and heavy over the Pacific Northwest. So let's take a look at the 0Z GFS Model Run at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Some energy over the plains coming in. Still a little bit of a ridge over us. Be a cool morning to start out, but warming up into the 60s to lower 70s with some showers developing over the southwestern counties of the state in the afternoon and evening hours. And some of those storms could be severe, a slight risk of severe weather for mainly this afternoon and tonight for areas south and west of a line from Sioux City to Keokuk. And that extends southward into Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Here's the tornado outlook for the same time period. The 5% chance across the far southern counties of the state into Missouri and Kansas, namely south of about a Glenwood to Bloomfield line. Here's the damaging wind outlook, the standard 15% outlook and a slight risk, mainly south of Omaha to about Keosauqua line, south and west into Kansas and Oklahoma. And the large hail outlook, and this will be likely the main threat, an enhanced area in the black hatched area from southwest Iowa into Kansas, and the 30% across the far southern and southwestern counties. Taking a look at some of the parameters, this is the STP, the significant tornado parameter, at 7 p.m. this evening. They're not as high as they were when we looked at it yesterday, still at least above 1 in southwestern Iowa. The supercell potential at the same time period, 7 p.m. this evening, some decent amounts, but they're just not as high as they were yesterday. And we look over at the Craven-Brooks Index, the significant severe, still looking decent south of a line from about Missouri Valley to about Lamoni, with the better chances down into Kansas and Oklahoma. Taking a look at CAPE, this is mixed layer CAPE at 7 p.m. this evening. You can see the better CAPEs across far southwestern Iowa into Kansas and Missouri, where CAPEs will be over 1,500 to 2,500 joules per kilogram. This is the same thing that was from the NAM. This is mixed layer CAPE from the GFS at the same time period, 7 p.m. this evening, showing better CAPE values across the entire state, with still around 1,000 to 1,500 across southwest Iowa. Now here's one of the WRF models from the University of Illinois. This is of CAPE at 7 p.m. this evening, showing CAPE values about 1,000 to 1,500 across the southwestern counties of the state, with better CAPEs down into Kansas and Missouri, or Kansas and Oklahoma. And here's another WRF model that shows lesser amounts of CAPE across the state, better chances still over Kansas and Oklahoma, but they'll be capped, and little if any thunderstorm activity. By Friday, the storm has moved away. Early morning showers and storms across the eastern counties, followed by clearing. Temperatures still not really cooling off behind the storm, back into the 60s. Saturday to start off the weekend, the winds begin to switch back to the south and west. Temperatures still in the 60s and 70s, with some mid to upper 70s across the southwestern counties, and it really warms up on Sunday ahead of a storm system. 70s and possibly some lower 80s, with some breezy conditions, as a frontal system will be over the plain states. On Monday, that comes through with some shower and thunderstorm activity. Temperatures cool off a little bit into the 60s to near 70, but it's not going to be an all-day rain. On Tuesday, the storm has moved away. Could be early morning showers across the eastern counties with clearing, and temperatures do cool off back into the 50s to lower to mid 60s. Begins to warm up slightly on Wednesday with readings back in the 60s statewide, but it's not as warm as it was this coming weekend. And a week from today, the ridge is back across the plain states with a trough over New England and a trough over the Pacific Northwest, with storm systems in both places. So we're right in the middle of two storms, one over the Northwest, one over the Great Lakes and New England, with here temperatures warming back up into the around 70 or so across the state. So the warm air is going to continue. A few days later, on the 8th of April, we have a storm system well off the California coast. Otherwise, it's pretty zonal across the country and fast moving, with a storm system coming through that could possibly spawn off some showers and storms with that system. It's too early to determine severe weather this far out. And at the end of the forecast, on the 13th, we have some energy moving across the middle part of the country and some more energy coming into the north and west coast, and that's another storm system with the possibility of some showers and storms as well. So it's looking to get a little more active heading into the middle of the month of April. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. We'll have another one on Friday.